Hey YouTube. Alright, so I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on the build and how it's been going so far. There's been a couple changes since the last video I made. New tires, front and rear, it needed them desperately. And I've also changed out the front shocks. Not gonna lie, I like the look of them. I think they're pretty sweet, but they are cheap. They're from eBay. I think they're like 65 bucks or something with delivery. And right now they're filled with nitrogen. My buddy Nick filled them up for me, took good care of me. It's got about 200 pounds on each side, which sounds like a lot, sounded like it to me too, but it does need them. I think they're 11 inches long. Only downside is, right there, they hit the A-arm. Hasn't broken yet, surprisingly. Not really quite sure how it hasn't broken, but the only times they ever hit is when I come down from a jump or a wheelie. You gotta really be flexing it to get that to hit like that. But, you know, it does. But that's alright though, because on normal riding conditions, it's a huge improvement over the stock shocks. Huge. I mean, for 60 bucks, you cannot complain about that at all. It's a massive, drastic change. I did have to realign the front end a little bit. Still working on it. I know they're not straight. And it did affect the, the camber angle. It affected that. So it's probably going to chew through these front tires pretty quick. But I'm going to figure that out too, because I'm probably going to stance out the front end eventually anyway. And yeah, as far as the jetting goes, because I don't know if any of you remember at all, I put that Mikuni 28mm flat slide carb on there. After I went through a couple carb boots to get it connected, I found this one. I think it goes to a Polaris Magnum 325. Kind of an odd duck, but it fits. And it's got a bigger port, a little bit bigger port than the stock one. And it still goes to the stock airbox and everything. The only downside to it is, as you can see, well, I'm not sitting flat with the bike. That's sitting flat with the bike. The carb kind of leans a little forward. Haven't had an issue really with it yet, but it does spill if you're going over bumps and stuff. It goes down the drain tubes. Not a lot, but a little bit. You notice it. But I did get the jetting almost perfect. I'm running a 160 main or 165, something like that. And the pilot at the moment is a 25 pilot. I'm going to switch it out to a 22.5, possibly a 20. Still a little bit rich on the idle circuit, but not too bad. Still rideable. Just once it comes up to temperature, it does, it idles kind of high. And no, it's not a vacuum leak. I've looked there 1,000 times. It isn't. So that's good. Almost got the clutching done. Or the carburetor. So the only reason I say clutch is because I had clutch issues. As soon as I rebuilt the motor, got the new carburetor in there. Obviously, there was a pretty big power change, and I don't think my clutch liked it too much. It started slipping in the upper ends of the RPM. Really just a wide open throttle, really. Nothing too bad below that. So what I did is I put an Outlaw racing clutch in it. I'm sure it's just a brand. I don't think it's an actual racing clutch. But it's a lot better than the one that was on there. And I also, rather than putting stock springs in it, or their upgraded springs in it, I put springs from a Barnett racing clutch from an lt230s. Obviously a much faster bike than this one. The springs are a bit longer, a bit stiffer. So, I mean, the clutch handles, it takes some hand grip to pull it in. But the thing bites hard, real hard. So it's Outlaw racing clutch with Barnett racing springs from an lt230s. It works really well. No slip at all. Real smooth, bites hard. I have no complaints. It'll stall the machine long before it ever slips that clutch. Not that I like to find out, but, you know, it's four-wheeler. So, that's pretty much about it. I still got some more work to go. I gotta work on my swing arm. It's kind of loose. Not too bad. Still rideable. But I'm working on coming up with a solution for that. But I'm also going to extend it anyway at some point. Don't mind all the sand on the motor. I was going in the sand pit earlier. But yeah, so that pretty much brings you up to speed on what's been going on with the LT. I just posted another video so you can hear it rather than just listen to me talk about it. So yeah, have a good night, YouTube.